And in this time of year, everybody's setting New Year's resolutions, but we set new day resolutions because we go into every single day with the mindset of I have to get 1% better.
Note where and who you give your energy and time to.
Hey, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Next Gen Traders YouTube channel. Get hype. As you can see, there are 6 of us here. We are recording our yearly recap today. We have been planning this for multiple weeks now, and we have finally got it together. Everybody's here except for James. James is at work, so you guys will see him soon. But we got an action-packed episode in here. We're basically going to just be going over how each of us have developed throughout this whole year, as well as what we are looking forward to in this year in 2022. It's going to be great for all of us. It's been amazing to see all of us develop. And then we're going to have an open discussion after that. And yeah, so that's basically it. Pretty simple. Sam is going to start off, Sam Testerman. So go right ahead.
Absolutely. Just like to say this episode is sponsored by Just Love Coffee, Claremont, Florida. If you're there, stop in. Also, this video is not backed by MIC. This is not recommendations or any influence on the MIC process.
I'm just a loyal member.
You know how it be. Anyway, wow. Yeah, I mean, an insane year. My trading has taken so many different forms, just in the way that I trade, the trader that I've developed into. Emotionally, it's been a crazy year. Obviously, for a lot of people, I mean, it's 2021. I mean, the world is absolutely crazy right now. People are trying to figure out what life looks for them, how they're living, you know, what they do on the day. But it's like, I've been so proud of our entire group here because everything that's been going on, the chaos and the politics, the world imploding around us, pandemics, we have all stuck to our guns. We've all stayed focused. We know what we're fighting for. And, you know, that's just a big accomplishment for every single person, you know, that's on this call today. So, yeah, my year has been, it's been insane. Obviously, I started trading in January, end of January of 2021. And I'm just coming up on a year pretty much. In about a month, it'll be 1 year. Obviously, I started with the OTCs long, and ending this year, I'm a short seller of the listed market. I do miss my OTC days a good bit. Every once in a while, I'll pull up some videos and see some of the studying that I did, so some good times. But you know, that's a part of being a trader, is just constantly adapting and constantly developing and understanding, you know, what your personality is and who you are as a trader. So through the year, it's been really crazy. I mean, I have never been through such a tough year, emotionally, physically, being exhausted, pushing myself to the utter limits. Anybody who has gone through this, anybody who's going through this, you know what I'm talking about. I mean, just the physical and mental strength that it takes to push through this and to become a day trader is absolutely insane. I mean, I've had weeks at a time, and Xander knows what I'm talking about, where we've been just like 2 weeks where we're both just like, what are we doing? Like, what is wrong? Why is this not working? I don't understand what's happening. It doesn't make sense. But thanks to, you know, the Next Gen group and everybody always being there to encourage me and the rest of us, you just keep going. You just keep pushing, you keep pushing. And we've been able to accomplish so much through that. But I mean, I've been through some crazy things this year. Obviously, in August, my dad passed away. You know, I've moved like twice, been taking care of my mom the last half of the year. And so it's been a really, for not to be too cheesy, but it's been like a really spiritual journey of like learning how to control your emotions, learning how to control yourself as a person, and not only do that, but channel that into learning to be a trader and control your emotions in trading. It's really crazy how it all blends together and all plays with each other. But I'm really proud of myself for the things that have gone on and the things that have happened, and being able to push through and never losing focus, never giving up. You know, I've had days where I literally punch my wall and I'm just crying because it doesn't make sense to me. I had these like back in like, I would say June and July were like really tough, of just trying to figure out what type of trader I was and how to do it, and nothing made sense. And that was only, you know, like 3 months ago, 3-4 months ago, and it didn't make sense to me. And I was just so frustrated. And as a trader, you're going to go through a lot of those different seasons. You're going to have those where just it's not making sense. But the reason that we're all here today making this episode and talking is because we're the select few that didn't give up, that didn't stop trying, that didn't give in to the weakness and to the pain and to the suffering. You know what I'm saying? So that's just, you know, the ups and downs of this year have been absolutely insane. And going into like October, obviously I've said this in the past, but going into October is when like I really started to refine the trader that I want to be and plan to be. So going into 2022, the trader that I am right now, just to kind of recap for you guys, is obviously I short listeds. I short outer lines. I just wrote this actually. Let me just read this off because it's a really good, exactly what my process is, so that you guys know and hold me accountable to this. My process is shorting outer lines and key major resistance levels if properly deviated. There is some discretionary trading involved in that. And so I kind of go into what that means. Outer lines, self-explanatory. The outer lines to the left of your chart, you just short into the uppermost resistance and cover into key support. Major resistance levels, if properly deviated. I think we all as traders, you know when a certain level is the level. Like this is the level to break. This is the level to hold. This is the level to reject. And so if your stock is properly deviated, for me as a short seller, that means it's really far away from it and it has to really extend to get up to that, then that's the level that I hit. Oftentimes that'll be VWAP, that'll be red to green, or just a really, really key resistance. And also a part of my process, but still refining, is low-hanging fruits, which are day 2 plays. When you've got a stock that was a runner, the hot chick, on day 1, and then day 2, everybody forgets about it. As traders, we have really, really small attention spans, and everybody is on to the next moment. So shorting low-hanging fruits is something that I'm developing into my process. So the thing that I had to develop the last couple months and that have really shaped me is keeping it simple. Keeping it simple. You don't need to do much to be a good trader. You just need to have 1-2 things that you've refined, that you understand, and that makes you money. After you do that, and after you're profitable and you're making money, then you can earn the right to go and, you know, develop other strategies and do all that type of stuff. But I'm really just trying to focus in on one thing that makes me money and that can stick through that. So what I just, you know, laid out there is my process. That's what 2022 is going to look like for me. As far as, you know, the technical side of my trading, that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be shorting outer lines, major resistance levels. I'm not going to be playing with the noise. I'm not going to be trying to short little tiny pops. That's just not me. You know, I want better risk reward. I want to catch more of the move. So that's really going to be my focus. I don't want to deviate from that. I just want to perfect that, refine it, exploit it. And then once all that happens, then I can start to develop more if I want. 2022, you know, there needs to be a mix of having a lot of expectations and setting goals for yourself, but also a lot of grace and not putting yourself in a box of like, this is what this year has to look like, you know? Because I think if we've all learned anything, is that you never know what the year is going to hold. You know, you never know what's going to happen. And so going into 2022, I have a lot of expectations on myself. I have a lot of hopes, but I'm also allowing myself to, whatever it looks like when the year ends, I'm going to be proud of myself, because I know that every single day I'm going to give it my best. I'm going to try my hardest no matter what. And that's going to lead me to where I want to be at the end of this year. So, you know, I've got all of you guys and, you know, developing this friendship, and hopefully we get a trader office by the end of this year. That's kind of, you guys want to know our goals. We're looking for a trader office. You know, we want to be able to get together, which is going to be so sick. But I'm really just, this year is about consistency. I'm not trying to bank big. Hey, if I bank big, that's awesome. But this year, 2022, is about consistency, refining my process, exactly what that means, and becoming a consistent trader that I never have to worry if I'm ever going to make it. You know, like I'm never going to have to worry, have I made it in the stock market? Am I a good trader? That's what 2022 is for me, is perfecting that and knowing that, okay, I've got my bread and butter, I've got my foundation built, and continuing to grow as a person, continuing to grow mentally and understanding myself and becoming a better person in every aspect. Obviously, there's so much more to it, but you know, that's kind of what 2022 looks like for me. Looks like family, trading, refining, perfecting myself as a person and as a trader, and really continuing to do exactly what I've been doing. So, yeah.
Very powerful.
Yes, sir.
Beautiful.
Awesome. So I guess I will go up next. That was awesome. So I guess I'll just start by showing my stats for this year.
Here we go. That's what I like.
We know what Alex wants. We know what he wants.
I want numbers.
Alex wants numbers.
But I mean, obviously,
These are my
psychology is also important.
Yeah. So you guys can see that, right?
Yeah, we got you.
All right, let's see.
That's a good win rate,
I
Xander.
think you forgot to clear out your incognito tab there, buddy.
Incognito? No way. Is that like, yeah, it's probably
Exposed.
Xander's heart skipped for a second there.
not at all. All right.
He's like, I ain't that stupid.
So I started trading in February of this year, 2020. Well, not this year anymore, 2021. I longed OTCs like Sam for the first 3 months, and then I switched to the listed market short, just like Sam. And I've been doing that since May, so that's been about 8 months now. So I don't even like most traders don't know what they're doing for the first year, and then the second year they find their process. So for me to be in the listed market for 8 months and already have like a good grasp on things, I think that's really good progress. I still haven't found my process, like exactly like what I'm going to do day in, day out. So that's really my goal for the next 4 months, because once I find it, I'm going to be able to just devour all my time into it. And I'm just going to be able to learn the edge, like the back of my hand. And so that's really what my focus is for like the next 4 months. And so yeah, that's my goal right now. So overall, when I started, you can see from the stats, I started uptrending consistent. Well, I was flat first for like the first few months, and then I started uptrending. Like this looks pretty good. But then, and I actually started going parabolic, you can see, and that's just as I started sizing up and as I started getting better, just more consistent, choosing the right stocks to trade. But then I was trading the MIC process, which has a major flaw, and that's low risk reward, as pretty much everyone in MIC will agree with me on. So the win rate is like really good in MIC, but the risk reward is just not, because they teach scaling and shorting lows where you're going to get squeezed out all the time. So during this consistent uptrend, I was sizing up, and I had yet to really take like a 1 hour loss. But once I did take that 1 hour loss, it got me really emotional because the pullback was a lot. Like my gains were like 0.5 R. So they were adding up as I was really consistent. But the second I took a 1 hour loss, it was a big pullback, and that got me emotional. And then I started taking a few other 1 hour losses. And then you could see how horrible that chart looks. That's only 4 to 5 R loss. That's not much. Like if you look at any other trader's charts, you could see like, 5 R is just a tiny pullback, and then they're making 10 R the next month. Like you could just see how big of a pullback like a little bit of R is, and that just shows you how like low risk reward I was trading. So there's a major flaw in my trading, even though I was consistent. That was bound to happen, really. So moving forward into 2021, I'm really trying to develop a higher risk reward process, not focus so much on win rate, because if you get 2 to 1 risk reward with a 50% win rate, I would say that's good. If you get a 3 to 1 risk reward, you don't even need 50% win rate to be profitable. So my goal is just to, and how I'm going to do this is start shorting and sizing into the best areas, like Sam said, around outer line and resistance points, instead of shorting lows under view up where I constantly got trapped and stopped out. And I'll show some charts. These were my trades where I'm shorting the lows. You could see I'm shorting under view up, okay, and then it gives this big bounce and I get stopped out for the actual move. Okay, I didn't really even get to cover that much right here. But if I was shorting the resistance points after it actually made a move, I would be able to capitalize on this move. And another trade like this is this, where yes, I'm shorting resistance, but I'm also shorting the lows and it's just trapping me out. Another example is this trade where I'm shorting the lows after it broke under VWAP, a confirmation, I'm going to short the bounce, and then I get trapped back to outer lines, where if I'm shorting the outer lines, it's going to work from the outer lines, not from shorting the lows.
Right.
So let me show you some charts of like trading that this year that I've done that have really stood out to me. Just it shows how trading the lines, trading the resistance lines is way better. So here you could see a lot of traders, and my old self would have shorted down here once it broke under VWAP, but you could see they just get trapped out. Instead, I'm scaling the resistance lines and then covering where I would have been shorting. That's a common problem, like with a lot of people in MIC too, because they teach that, but that's a strategy that's not working in this market. You have to stay at the outer lines because there's a lot of manipulation going on. So the shorts, the riggers are always going to try to trap you to the top, and you're going to be stopping out the top. So you can see when I short the resistance lines, the main resistance lines like pre-market high a day or high a day, those are really good short areas to size in on. And then another thing is MIC teaches nail bail, which yeah, it gives you a high win rate, but it doesn't give you good risk reward, like I said. So my new focus is just being more patient and waiting for the best entries, but also being more patient for the best exits instead of just covering when I'm in the green. So this is an example of scaling out that I did once. That was like one of my best trades. Here's another one. Like I said, pre-market high day is a great area to size into. And so that's what I did. I sized into pre-market high day, and then I covered the fade. And this also gives you a clear stop out point, which is right over here. But when you're shorting lows, where do you stop out? Do you stop out at the resistance point above you? You're just gonna stop out at the top, like I said.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like that's my focus of shifting. Like I'm just trying to get better entries and better exits. And I'm really trying to find myself as a trader because I haven't been able to yet. But I think everything like, so a lot of like my friends know me as someone who switches from system to system. And I've talked to a lot of traders about this because it's a big problem. Like a lot of people have probably like relate to this, where, you know, you always feel like you're at crossroads. There's 4 directions. You could trade this system, you could trade this system. And then you decide, okay, I'm going to trade this system. You trade it for like a week or two. You know, you understand that you're going to lose for the first month, 2, 3 months, but you just don't stick with it long enough to actually see it through. And this is a problem that I've been happening since I started, really. So my goal is just to find my process. And I think it's actually a good thing that I'm like that. A lot, like, yes, the learning curve is a lot sharper, or it's going to take a lot longer for me to become profitable. But another trader I talked to said that this gives you a broader understanding of all the systems out there. And so once you find your process, you just have a better understanding of different things that work and what doesn't work. So I think once I find my process, I'll be able to become way more profitable than if I had just been sticking with one single thing from the very beginning. Because if I was, yes, I would be consistent, but I would only know that. And if I wanted to expand, it's going to be incredibly hard because I just don't understand, like, for example, the manipulation going on. I've studied that deeply. No, I'm not profitable with that knowledge yet, but I know it. And same thing for other like areas of the market. Like I just learned so much from hopping from thing to thing. But now it is time that I find what I need to focus on and use all this knowledge that I've gathered since I started to actually put to work and like see the money come in from. So, I mean, those are my goals. That was my year. I'm not really like, I've never been well, I'm pretty emotionally down, like in terms of like, I don't know when I'm gonna find my process. Something Brian Lee says all the time is you're right where you need to be in your journey. And I always think of that because like right now, my mentality is like, wow, I don't know, am I ever gonna find my process? I'm just gonna keep hopping to system. I'm never gonna be profitable this way. Yeah, I can't find my process. But then I also just tell myself, you know, I'm gonna find it, and when I do, I'm gonna be able to use this knowledge to grow a lot. So that's my recap.
Beautiful. Mic drop right there.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, Zen, is that all you got?
Yep.
All right, guys. So I'm going to go next. I'm going to branch off something that Sam said really, really quick. The part where he said this was a very tough year, but at the same time, this was the best year of my entire life, hands down. I'm sure all of us can attest to this, that we have completely revitalized our lifestyle, revitalized the way we spend our time, revitalized where we allocate and who we allocate our mental capital and our energy for. And that is super, super important, to the point where I'm sure all of us don't even remember the person that we were a year ago today. Like, I honestly don't even know who I was a year ago. And it's just like, when you know that, like, even like 6 months, even to like a year, that you have come this far and you don't even remember, that's how you know you're making progress. And in this time of year, everybody's setting New Year's resolutions, but we set new day resolutions, because we go into every single day with the mindset of I have to get 1% better, multiple areas of life outside of trading. And over time, it'll allocate and it'll compound. And then eventually you'll become the person that you never thought you were going to be. So I just wanted to start off with that really quick. I'm going to go month by month about my trading throughout the year quickly, and then I'll show like my P&L chart. So started studying December 2020, made 5 trades in my first week, thinking I didn't need to study at all. Lost like $50 on like OTCs and commissions and stuff. And I was like, okay, I need to study. I can't just immediately start trading. So then I didn't trade from January to May. I took 5 months to just study and, absorb everything, because I never really had a financial literacy background of any sort. I was like coming into college, and I was always like busy with sports throughout high school. So I never really became at all with like financial literacy. I started off with like in Robinhood, like investing and stuff. But anyways, so January, February, March, April, May, I'm just studying. I'm learning OTCs. I'm learning the process. I'm basically studying as much as I possibly can. June, I'm trading OTCs. I didn't take a ton of trades, but I wasn't finding consistency. July, I started trading listed stocks. I was looking at VWAP reclaims, VWAP bounces, and that kind of stuff. And then August, I discovered what trend lines were. So then I started drawing trend lines in August. And then September, I started, changing the way I view trend lines and finding distinct trend breaks instead of just drawing trend lines everywhere. October, I started turning around my setup to, basing trend lines. November, I narrowed down that criteria to find out, this is what I was seeing, but this is what I need to change. And then December, I can confidently say that December was the first month in my trading that I can confidently say that I know exactly what I'm doing. As you guys know, for months now, I have been making so many disciplinary mistakes that I shoot myself in the foot that I can avoid, that were all my fault. And, the fact that I can constantly say in December that there was a lot less of them, and, I'm not doing that kind of stuff anymore. It's like Sam said and Xander said, there is a vision for this coming year. But as Sam said, you can't be too rigid with your expectations. You have to give yourself room to grow. You can't lay everything out you can't write everything on paper and say, this is this. Things are going to happen that are unexpected, but it's just, you can't exactly pinpoint what's going to happen. So let me share my P&L chart really quick. I'm going to share on my other screen. So I'm going to be talking in this camera and sharing the other one. Okay, so this is my cumulative P&L chart, all down on the year. I'm down like $194 gross. Net, I'm down like $309 net on the year. So obviously I'm not focusing on the money. And here's something that's very, very important for newer traders, especially if you're a long bias trader. Keep your account small and don't make your losses bigger than they have to be. If I had more money in my account, I know for a fact that I'd be down at least 600. Not that I care. It's important to keep your account small when you don't know what your process is. I'm going to be adding funds to my account within the next couple of weeks, but I'll talk about that later. This is my cumulative P&L chart. I made 1 trade in April. Notice I needed to study more. Then I started trading in June. As you guys can see, there is 4 resistance levels in September, October, and November. That is just an emotional level for me. As Sam said, when he's looking at a trade, it's that this level is the one that's got to break. as you guys can see, there's 4 tops in my chart that I just got emotional, or, like I said, I didn't know what I was looking for. So I honestly went into a bit of a drawdown in early December, recovered myself pretty well, and then took some unfortunate losses this week that made me draw down a little bit more. One was double the loss that I planned for because of slippage. Then I got some slippage on another one and had a few disciplinary mistakes. But I can confidently say that I have eliminated all of that, and I'm ready to make this into a higher low come this new year. And so yeah, this is my stats. I'm not going to really talk through these, but they're definitely not where they need to be. My win rate's not good. I made a lot of trades this year, and it was constantly just one at a time. And so that's that really quick. I'm going to stop sharing this, and I'm going to talk a little bit longer. All right, so like I said, that was some of my stats really quickly. I'm ready to make that higher low in my P&L chart. Obviously, I'm not focusing on the money or anything, but like Sam said, consistency is this new year. If he makes it big, then it happens, But consistency is the main focus. So I look at my trading 3 months ago, and I'm like, what was I doing? Every single month has been some distinct, just realization that it's okay, this is what I need to do. Okay, this is what I need to do. And I've taken a lot of my system from Dan Irish, but I've also combined a little bit from Bryce Toohey. But I've never, the way that I trade, no one necessarily taught me it. It has been just on my own. I've been seeing things that okay, this is what I'm seeing, and then I'm going to adapt this over and over. I'm not in MIC. I'm not in a big service of any sort. So I didn't really have any teaching of a specific strategy to me. It's been all, kind of myself just figuring out what works. And there's positive and negatives to that. There's a lot of, upfront market tuition that has to be done, as all of us know. But I feel really good with where I'm at going into the next year. And then I just have some goals that I'm going to say really quick for 2022, and then we'll move on to the next person. One thing I want to do is I want to make a massive watch list in eTrade Pro that I can scroll through and keep all recent runners on it. I don't know why I haven't been doing that, but I just want to make one big, huge watch list where I can scroll. I know Alex does this, Sam does this, I think. And so I can see, just all the stocks I'm watching. I'm going to add capital to my account in the next few weeks. I'm also going to start working a part-time job. I'm applying for that today. I'm finishing the application. So that's going to be good. Time management. We manage our time very, very well, but there's always improvements that can be done, as with anything in life. For Christmas, I'm sorry, I'm kind of talking in circles, but I got this really cool leather portfolio thing with this really cool paper. I'm going to write multiple pages of a distinct trading business plan.
Oh.
Sam was reading off his his process, and he explained us, it gets to outer lines, I short here, I cover major support. I'm going to write it down. I'm probably going to do it this coming weekend. I'm just going to make an entire business plan that I can write down, that I can open and be like, oh, wow, this is, on paper. And if a stock's not doing this, then I'm not touching it. Trading on tilt has been a huge problem for me recently, as all you guys know. And something that I'm going to do to keep that discipline is I'm not going to open my brokerage unless there's an opportunity setting up that I can't avoid, especially in the afternoons. In the afternoons, that's very, very important, because sometimes I'll make a trade that, I know I shouldn't have made, and got to be more strict with my time frames. But like Sam said, consistency is key. So in August is when I'm going to be turning 21. So that is within this year. I am going to open a shorting account when I turn 21. I don't have a way to be able to, but I have started carving out a plan. I am going to short and long the same stocks within the same time period. So I know that my long setup needs the stock to get under VWAP before it can start basing higher lows. So over the last couple of weeks, I have started finding ways to short for 1.5 R from above VWAP to below VWAP, and then I can switch long and ride it on the way up. That is the way I want to trade mid this year. So I definitely have some goals in shorting later in the year. Obviously, that's not for another multiple months, but and I'm still sorting some things out. But I'll show you guys the exact strategy that I'm looking at, and so yeah, I can't wait to do that. And then maybe dabble in a little bit of swing trading too. I know that we've all started, looking at it, but we haven't really got like a ton of study time. There's always, so much more, that can be done, but it's important to focus on your one process. And also this one is very important. I'm going to be focusing more on OTCs, especially in the afternoons. The afternoons is when I need to be focusing on OTCs because that is where I see the best opportunity for my style of trading. So I'm going to be focusing on OTCs more in the afternoons. And one thing that was really, really important before I end is to stop trading when I can, just because I can, and only when my process tells me I have to. I think that's because all of us know how it is to, have money in an account, and it's important just to don't trade just because you can. And I've done this for so long. Just because you can doesn't mean you should, only when your process tells you you have to. So that was, kind of rambling a lot of like different things, but I know that I needed to say it all. And so yeah, that's basically it. Just consistency is the focus for this coming year. And I'm just so thankful for all of you guys, because without you guys, I literally don't know where I would be. You guys have been such a huge part of this year. And I can't wait to keep growing together with you guys throughout the next few years. And all of us are going to start seeing, our fruits of labor really start showing this year and beyond. So we're all super excited about that. But that's all I got to say. And yeah, that's it. And Alex is going to go next.
Awesome.
Yeah, that was great. Yeah.
Cool.
Okay, so there's a lot of things I'm gonna say from my year, but the first thing I'll say is New Year, same me.
Beautiful.
Like I'm just gonna continue doing what I'm doing because I see that it works, and I'm just gonna add little improvements. Like I always say, just do the same thing and then just clean up those little parts. So yeah, obviously this year was crazy. This is definitely not what I expected to be. It's way better than I expected to be. And so my year, I divided it into 3 stages. The first one is January through March. So that's when I first started, because I was studying in 2020. So then I started as Sam and Xander in the last week of January. And then February, obviously, you all know, is the hottest market ever. So I made 500 and I lost 500 the next month. So in literally 2 months, I learned that the market has cycles, because some people, they trade for months and then the market change. But I just learned that in 2 months. So I just started in the between of the 2 markets. That was quite nice. Then hit April through June. That's the second stage. So that was when I got humbled by the market. I was like, okay, that's not that easy. Because after February, I was like, oh, I'm gonna make I don't know, 10K this year, because I was so hyped. But then I realized that you're not that guy. That's the time is not you're not ready yet to make that money. I'm like, okay, because I was at that time I was red. So April through June, I was just trying to find what works for me, because in the February I was just trading panic device, but then they stopped working, OTC panic device. So then I was just trying to see what works for me, and that turned out to be breakouts on first green days. And then through all that period, even though my gross P&L was good, but commission just killed them all. But I was just focusing on not the real P&L, because if you look at the real P&L with commissions, especially on OTCs, I mean, you're not gonna see any progress. But I just focused on the gross P&L, and I saw that I was actually doing good, even in because that was as Sam said, June and July he was here his most not depressed, but
Emotionally difficult.
Yes. So that was same for me, this summer, because I really didn't know, I mean, I knew what I need to do, but I didn't know how to do it, because I missed so many of those setups. I was so frustrated every day. So yeah, and then happened the stage 3. That's when I met Garik on Twitter, and then a new community. Then I switched to the free commissions broker. So that was a game changer. Then I developed a very solid process that I'm still doing right now. So that's the one. So in the summer, in the first stage, I didn't have a process. I was just trading the panic deal, that's it. Then in the summer, I was trying to find it. Then July to December, I developed it, and now I'm just improving it every day. And yeah, now I'll just show some stats and some trades really quick.
Awesome.
Okay, so this I saw a very great quote in Instagram. I mean, it was from Twitter too, from Kim. She said that because she showed her Pl chart, and she said that this line graph represents fear, doubt, depression, anger, resilience, perseverance, and then some success. So I think same thing here. Like, I mean, here was just the early success, but then here the reality hit. Then this all here, this line here, this is huge. Even though this is not like very big the number, because I didn't really care about the number, but I just didn't like that I was like I couldn't find my process, so I was very like frustrated, angry. Like I think I never really thought about giving up, but obviously that was very hard here. But then finally in like after July, we started the little success, you know, and then I broke the, and it's kind of funny that I ended the year where I started, like the piano wise. So, and now I just want to show you some charts from this period and then from this period to see the difference. So here we go. This is the, okay, this is the first, this was my biggest trade until December. And you can see why I always said that I won't have another big trade, because I didn't want to end my year with this trade being my best. I mean, look at this trade. I think Sam remembers that trade. Remember Sam? This is, I mean, it's so stupid. Like I would never do this again. Never. Just buying at the, I remember I looked back at our Discord back in the February, and Sam said like, you could have bought the stock any time of the day and you would have been up. But I bought literally at the top, and then I mean, you see just gapped, and I made what here 165, and this is completely like stupid because I've never do this again. Like what even is this? So this is just zero process. It's just, I don't know.
Luck.
Then yes, exactly. Then this trade was actually good. I honestly don't even remember me trading this. This was a nice breakout I traded. Like just a nice entry. Like that's something probably I would do now, but I know that for now, like looking at this chart, I would buy here or here, not here or not on the breakout levels. That's the only difference that between me now and then, because then I just bought the breakout level. Then we have, yeah, this is just sad to watch, because I mean, I still
Oh
believe
my
at
gosh,
some
dude.
time, they're gonna come back. I don't know when, but I remember watching, listening to Kyle Williams, and he was saying how in 2019 he also had panic device as his main pattern. Then it stopped working, and he thought that they're gonna never come back. But then 2020 happened, and they came back. So maybe in 2022 that they will come back. But I know for a fact I'm ready, because I know I learned about them in just 1 month, everything about them. And then, so that was February. You see every trade is green, yeah, because I didn't really have losses. And then this happened. So let's first go over this one. And this was, again, I remember this trade. I wanted to buy this here on the dip, because this was, I think, a breakout. Oh, this was the first green day. So I missed this entry and this entry, and then I just bought it here. So that was completely, I was thinking that the stock owes me money. So that's why I bought it here. And then it had a kind of a panic, so I couldn't sell. And this was 100 loss. And then after that, I became kind of like a little scared. But then when this happened, I mean, this was the end of the first green days for me, because you see, this one worked, right? And then why would you not do this again? And then I did it again, and then I got fucked. So yeah, this one was I am actually very grateful for this, because after this happened, I completely like realized the whole thing. I'm like, okay, it's completely different than I thought. So this happened really like 9:33, and I left the trading. Like I just walked away, and I never came back that day. Like it really happened in the morning. I'm like, okay, I'm done. So yeah, this was very. Oh yeah, here you see my no market respect. You should say respect, because before I didn't really, like I didn't respect the market, because he was literally telling me that you shouldn't do this, but I just did it. So that's why. And then here, and then this is the trade that this is my process right now, because I trade breakouts, and that's how I do it. Like, see, this breakout level, I bought this before the breakout level here in anticipation of the breakout, and then I selling above the breakout. So that's That's way different because before I would have just bought it here. And also you see now I can scale out because of no commissions. But imagine this with commissions, you pay 5 here, 5 here, 5 here. So that's $20 in commission already. So that's stupid. That's why I've never scaled out with commissions. So this is a plus setup right now for me. This is the next one. Yeah, this one was kind of above the break because of gap, but still you see this trigger entry here, as I always do right now. Here, this little trigger, and then I improved my patience so much because before in February I was just trading like 5-10 minutes, like I wasn't, or just holding overnight. But now I can just enter in the morning and then just stick to my risk the whole day, and then you see the cells were like very processed. This was a nice, so this was in December. This was a nice first green day. Also, you see my interests are way different than they were before. I mean, this is a pretty solid right at the top here. Like you buy when the trigger happens, before, like really before everyone starts to see it, and then you sell when everyone buys. When like everyone, like imagine buying here, that they all chase it and I sell. So, and here is, so this trade was my biggest, and until December. And I remember I was telling Lance how my mind was telling me that I had like 2 weeks to make my best trade, and because I didn't want to end my year and say this is my biggest trade, like, and then thankfully this happened. This was my best trade ever in terms of executions and P&L too. But obviously, when I was trading, I didn't even know that. I mean, obviously, I knew that it was gonna be the best trade, but I wasn't looking at my P&L. But I mean, this trade, like here, everything was perfect. I talked about it in the last episode, but the way how I improved my ads, because before I wasn't adding this ad just perfect. Probably this one could have been a little lower, but still, the good thing is that I didn't say like, oh, I wanted to wait for the better entry, for the better ad. I just added here, and then the sales were really solid here. Like you just sell when everyone buys. That's what I always say. That's my process. Like like you see, nobody here buys. Like I know, at that time I had like best average than other good traders I know. So this was very solid at this. And now I wanna talk about this. Well, December, because we didn't do December, and I also have this nice charts here. So this is like this is the difference between without commissions. This is with commissions. I mean, this part actually looks like the same because I stopped having them somewhere here. But you see how, where is it? Yes. So how I broke the all-time high in this just one trade. So when I had this trade, I was like, okay, I don't need to trade anymore, because after I have my trade, I know it's gonna make my month. Like I don't need to force anything. But it still didn't mean that now I have to take 0 trades, because what if the good setup comes? So that's why I took some losses here. But it was still solid. This obviously skewed because I had only 3 wins. But let's go here. This is so this is a good right here. This is actually what I want. 40% win rate with 1 to 3 R. So this is the R. It's not my risk because I had different risk during the year. So this R goes to the average loss, because for a year, yeah. So that's the total R is based on this number. So my average gain is 3 times my loss, and it's 40%. So that's pretty profitable. And my goal for the 2022 is to maybe do 4-1, but 3-1 is still solid on average. But I want to increase my winner to 60% because I want to have more winners. Because if I'm profitable right now with less wins, I can only imagine what's gonna be if I have more wins too. So the percentage is also good, but it's not really important because I can have different risk levels. The percentage, so the dollar matters more, and 20% account growth. Yeah, and also I have this. This is since April, because in April I became a different trader. So this is this is my best stat here. Like literally since April, my biggest loss was $24. Even though I had the risk, I had the risk of like $30 risk, but still my biggest loss since April is only 24. And the funny thing is that wasn't even a trade that was supposed to be $24 loss. I had a small size and it just got down. So yeah,
that's insane.
Yeah, this is all the same. And another thing I wanted to mention, let's see, this right here. So I know for a fact looking at the stars that breakouts are my best pattern, and I only need to focus on them. Right now, I focus on first green days 2, and this number is slow, is a little low because of this. So this is skewed also, but I know that this and this is my main focus for 2022. Breakouts, like the breakouts are my best, and then first green days like second one. So that's it, and I have some notes also. So I mean, my process, like the way I trade, you will see just OTC breakouts. I strive for 1 to 4, but 1 to 3 is the minimum risk reward. I'm totally okay with losing because I know my one win covers 3, 4, sometimes 5, 10, 20, 30 losses. I never have big losses because I just simply follow my plan. Maybe yes, sometimes it can gap down, but in most cases it just the loss is what I expect it to be. So right now, all I need is just stick to the same process I've been doing and improving and cleaning small things along the way, such as not being too disciplined, because that's something that actually hurt me, because sometimes I'm so much disciplined. I know that's a good problem to have, but I miss a lot of like entries because of that. So, and I need to be a little bit more loose on my criteria. Like I don't need to be that strict. So, but I know that my current process without any changes is very profitable in the long run. So like even if I don't change anything, it's still gonna be profitable. And last thing is sizing up. My risk right now is $30. I want to size up to 50, 100. My goal is to, well, that's, yeah, I don't care about money, but my goal for 2022 is to have average win of 200. But I know that's something that I'm not going to be focusing on. It's just going to come by itself. And all I need to focus on is that's sizing up means bigger losses. So I need to think in terms of R, not on dollars. So,
Yes, sir.
So yeah, I think that's it. Yeah,
Good job, Alex.
Same.
Awesome.
Oh yeah, and the most important goal for all of us for 2022 is to become a consistently profitable trader. And we don't need meaning, like it doesn't mean make big money, just means making something consistently. So even if it's $50 a day, that's still good.
Yep, absolutely.
Yes, sir. Awesome stats. Love it.
All right, so I'm like a year and a half into trading, only OTC longs. I've tried doing listeds. Like when I first started, I was just chasing OTC breakouts, or if a listed stock gapped up like 80%, I was just YOLOing half my account into that stock at 9:30. Listed stocks, I got absolutely obliterated. I don't know how Sam and Xander do it. It's impossible for me. But this just had like a lot of ups and downs. I've definitely gotten better. Like I've improved. Because like Lance said, I look at trades from 6 months ago and I wonder what was I thinking. But yeah, I'm gonna share my screen and get my P&L chart up. Okay, so you guys remember in August I lost like almost $900 in one day. That really sucked and that hurt me like mentally, because I did not know what to do. I didn't know how to come back from that. I don't know if I would or not. After that, it was a little bit rough, got flat for a while. But then the biggest thing that helped me was I didn't have like a dollar risk before that, which sounds crazy. But after that big loss, I was like, I got to control my losses. So I went to $20 risk. And from there, it's been a pretty good uptrend. Tracking trades in Excel was huge, because I had to figure out which patterns I do best and which ones work the best for me. And like I would get the best risk reward, best win rate. So I've came back from that loss pretty well. I'm going to, so this was my 1K day, TKOB. It was just like, it was nothing brilliant. It's just kind of thing where like after you have 200, like have a couple hundred trades, you're going to hit a home run eventually. OTC stock, low float, had a press release. It started spiking at like 5 cents. And I tried to sell for a huge gain in the 12s, 13s, and low teens. Could not get executed. But got out for 90% of my money. This was CYBL, just OTC breakout. I had a great ad down here at the end of the day, sold into that spike. This was earlier in the year, July, left a lot of meat on the table, but it was a decent gain. This one really made me mad. I could have literally doubled my money, and I sold. So this is the soonest I've ever sold. This was a pretty bad trade. I don't know why I sold there. Okay, so this is the yearly stats. My average win and loss is way worse than I want it to be. On the year, I made a little over 1,000, increased my account 25%. My average percent gain and loss, I'm fine with that. I think what really hurt me was in the beginning of the year, I was taking bigger losses. And also, like Alex said, commissions add up. Whenever you're risking $20 and it's $5 in and $5 out, I'm not risking 30 because it's $10 in commissions. If you have 2-to-1 risk reward, your $40 win goes down to 30 because of $10 commissions. And you add in slippage on top of that, it totally messes up your risk reward. But my win percent, I want to get it up, and my average win loss, I need to have better risk reward than that. But I mean, if I can make money with these stats, I can't. Like in 2022, my main goals are probably be more selective with my trades and keep controlling my losses, but just to improve my risk reward and win percent. Ideally, in 2022, I'm risking like 100, 200, a little more per trade. That's the goal. But really just get good at sizing up. And that's what I'm gonna focus on. That's all I got.
Awesome.
All right, Sam, short and sweet. There we go.
Pretty cool.
All right, so I'll start off like first. I just want to say, Lance, way ahead of you on the journal. Like,
Oh yeah, look at that.
2022.
Wait. Hold that up again. Hold that up again, Josh. Let's see it.
We won't see
I don't know if
it.
you can see.
Oh, nice.
I can't really see. But
Okay.
oh, well.
Green screen's kind of blocked.
Yeah. So, anyways, I guess 2021 for me was mainly data tracking. That's like midway through, I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna really track. Take some small size, see what I'm good at, see what I'm bad at. So like, I noticed I'm not that good playing in late day, decent midday, and I guess my best time is like first 2 hours of the day. That's when I profit the most. So now I know, like, okay, avoid late day. Like Alex remembers, we took a big, like I took like an $80 loss or something on BLSP. Do you remember that trade really early in the year?
Yeah, that's something like when I look back, because I didn't have a risk at that time. We sold right
Yeah.
before the key support, then it bounced, and the next day it had like 20 green candles in a row.
Yeah. So we bought it late day, I remember, and then it just dropped towards the close. So we just sold for a loss. Next day it gaps up like 20% and just continues to go. Like we could have profited so much, but like, you know, we learned from it. And so let me just share my screen real quick. All right, so I started trading around late 2020, like around here it says like October. So yeah, like there's basically nothing for a while because I was taking small size, so win loss didn't really matter. Then when I started trading OTCs, I had to take bigger size because of the commission.
Yeah.
So then I just started, you know, it started taking away my profits and just eating away my account. Then I don't know, it was just a great market. I started trading listeds and OTCs both, and then you see that big run up. And these big drawdowns are mainly because I just didn't get filled on OTC panics.
Oh, I remember that loss.
Yeah, and it was because I was trading with Thinkorswim. Like they're not good with OTCs. So then I switched to E-Trade. But this was already after like I ate those 2 losses. Like I had my set risk, I had everything, but you know, it just happens when you don't get filled into a panic. And that's why I also stopped trading illiquid stocks, things like that. And yeah, now I'm just coming back. Like I've just tracked the data, I've done a lot of the work, and now like I understand like what I'm better at than way before. And then so this was my last trade. Are you guys able to see it? NTRB, this is the one I took Friday, December 31st, literally the last day of the year. I saw the volume, low float. It was the hot chick of the day. And I just decided, you know what, I'm just gonna buy it into a morning spike. even though my plan was to buy it around that purple line where it meets VWAP, I just didn't listen to myself. And then I bought it. I had a sell for a loss. And then I bought where my initial plan was. And I was thinking, okay, breakout over a high day, it's going to run. It's a perfect OT swizzle, but in the listed market. And yeah, I just got out too soon. This ran up all the way to the 12s. You know, I wasn't expecting to hold to the 12s, but you know, the play was there. I know Xander shorted it. And we both lost somehow. You know, when 2022, somehow I think we're going to both win though on these types of plays with the yin and yang. But yeah, the majority of my losses have been from, you know, sticking to my risk. It's all good. And then the majority of my wins have been small because I just take profits too quick. Like over here, I did take profits like way too quick. Of course, I was a minute off from it starting to run, but that's just impatience. And like Alex is really good at holding his risk, mainly because he watches 90-minute soccer games. But like, I'm better than I was before. And like this year, like if I just stick to my risk, I'll be profitable because I have a high win rate anyways. And so, yeah, I just know that I'm very skilled, especially with the data tracking. Like I understand what I'm good at, what I'm bad at, what to stay away from. I know Alex tracks a lot of data on the setups too, and you guys do also. So yeah. And
Josh, I have a question.
Yeah.
What is that dash purple line? Is that a line you drew, or is that an indicator?
No, that's a line that I drew diagonally.
Okay.
Like the solid lines that I draw are mainly basic support, basic resistance, and then the dashed ones are like the diagonal kind of trend lines. Like the ones you draw. Like I dashed them.
Gotcha.
He's trying to be cool.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna focus, and I traded like every setup basically. And I remember we were winning in the beginning of the year, like me and Alex and stuff, and Sam, because of the morning panics. And then morning panics, yeah, they just went away. So then we had to adapt. And I don't think morning panics are gonna come back for a while. So I'm just gonna trade 3 setups, one listed, one OTC, and then the swizzle that works for both. So I'm gonna play the morning trigger like the way Alex has done, and he's done it very well. I just need to stick to my risk, you know, sit on my hands, walk away. And then
not sure about walking away though, because I can't do this still.
Yeah, I can't.
I just stare at the stock all day.
So. Yeah, but for listed, I'm gonna play the hot chick on the pullback, basically a dip and rip. I know Harry Haas does it, but he calls it like some other stuff.
The first bounce.
Yeah, and also just the swizzle for both listed and OTCs, they work. And high risk reward, like you could get 4 or 5 R on some of these. Alex, what did you get? Like 16 R, something like that. 10 R
on ABV.
11.
Yeah. 11. Yeah.
11 R. So yeah, these are just high probability setups if you can stick to the risk. And yeah, that's the main goal, is just to stick to the risk, stick to those 3 setups. And I think I should be good because I know myself now as a trader, like where I'm good and, you know, where I could just completely excel.
So
awesome, Josh.
That's great, man.
I did. Wait, what's up, Sam? Sorry.
No, I was just saying that's awesome. And something I love, Josh, about what you're doing is where you recognize that you just needed to be tracking data for a while, you know?
Yeah.
You're really setting yourself up that foundation so that when it's time to attack, you're going to be able to just hit it hard going into 2022, you know?
Yeah, that was a plan. Hopefully it works.
Yeah. That's
yeah,
awesome.
Man. It's been so awesome to see every single one of us develop. I'm sure like all of us in the summer, like Sam said, June, July, we were all like we were all struggling, so to speak. And just to see where we've all come since then, it's been, dude, it's amazing. And this year we thought 2021 was a great year, dude. 2022, and it's just gonna be awesome. Not even only trading related and other things too. So.
The craziest thing is like in the beginning of this year, we were all like the exact same trader, like OTC, first screen days, you know, like, and then we all like each, like, we're all like so different. Like we're all very different.
Like we all have similar styles, but like completely different, but they overlap in some areas. Like Sam, you and Xander talk, and then me, Sam H, and Alex talk, and then Lance joins in on certain areas. Like we all overlap in certain areas.
I also love too, one of my favorite things to see is when I take a short and I either stop out, or a cover where I see Lance longing.
And you give pairs to Lance.
Yep, that has
Yeah.
happened multiple times.
Yeah.
That has happened multiple times.
I avoid a short and I see it. I'm like, okay, I could short here, but it's a hot chick. Nah, I don't like this. I avoid it. It spikes. An hour later, Lance posts it. Yeah. That's like the best thing ever.
Dude, that's awesome. I love that. I
Yeah.
love that.
But yeah, we wanted to go into like just a little bit of open discussion. Just kind of, we all gave her a year and just kind of talking about it. Two things that really stood out to me that I wanted to like bring back in really quick because I feel like they need more attention. Something that Alex says, new year, same me, bro. Straight fact.
New Year evolved me.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But it's like, I don't need to change who I am. I'm going to refine who I am. I'm going to
Yes.
protect who I am, but I'm not changing. People go into a new year and they're like, okay, I need to, change everything. I got to da-da-da-da-da. It's like, no, I want to keep doing exactly what I'm doing. I want to keep working towards exactly what I'm working towards and putting in the same but more energy than I currently am. So new year, same me. So powerful. The second thing is what Lance said is going into 2022, note where and who you give your energy and time to.
Yep.
That will direct how your year goes. Who you give your attention to, where you put your energy is going to be so incredibly important. Your time cannot be undervalued. Your energy and your mental preservation cannot be undervalued. That will affect everything in your life. You've got to know exactly what you're going for. You've got to know exactly what is worth your time, what is worth your attention, and not let anything take that away from you. Because if you can do that and if you can keep that discipline, nothing will be able to stop you going into the next year. So don't let your friends, don't let your family, don't let Netflix, don't let YouTube, don't let soccer, whatever it is.
Oh,
Let it take away.
Oh, Alex is triggered now.
that's an exception.
That
Dang.
is going to be so important going into 2022. You cannot lose track of that.
I'll branch off of that to something similar. Something that Mike Midtown that I've seen from him recently is he focuses a lot on the why of his trading and how every single day, if you think about your why in trading and what you know that your goals are, where you know you have to be in X amount of days, months, whatever, why would you do anything that holds you back from your why of trading? And once I realized this, like, a few weeks ago, when you're about to like make a stupid mistake in the market, to ask yourself, what is my why in trading? And why would I do anything that goes against my why? I think having that bigger picture, that overarching theme can help you to be like, you know what, I'm trading on tilt here, or you know what, I don't have to do this, or you know what, I should walk away. You know what, I should save my mental capital by doing something else, clear my mind, then I'll come back with a fresh head. All that stuff, like Sam said, is where you allocate your energy is way too important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So true.
Anybody got anything on the top of their head? I do want to say one more thing.
Go for it.
All right, so last weekend on December 23rd, so the night before Christmas Eve, my mom walks into my room. I just want to tell her a quick story.
Oh, yes, bro.
My mom walks into my room. She sees me. It's about 10:30 p.m. on December 23rd. My mom goes, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm working." She goes like over there into the other room. She comes back. She goes, "Why are you still working? Normal people don't do this." I said, "Exactly. That's exactly why I'm doing it." She comes back and she says something else. I forgot what she said, but then she just walks out the door. She walks upstairs. 20 minutes later, she comes back down. It's about 11:20, 11:30. She goes, "Lance, it's the night before Christmas Eve. What are you doing?" I said, "I'm still working." She says, "Why? Normal people don't do this." I said, "Exactly. That's why I'm doing it." I literally said the exact same thing. She goes over there. She comes back and she goes, "You know, money isn't everything, right?" I'm like, "Mom, first of all, I'm not even making money. And second of all, second of all, allocating your time is much, much different from anything monetarily related. It's like, if you know, like, I've got some time, I've got to freaking maximize it. That's when you know, like Sam said, don't care what your friends say. Don't care what your family says. Don't give a shit about anything anybody else says. You know where you have to get. You know exactly, okay, this is who I have to become. This is the trader I want to become. This is what I know I have to do to get there. And you can't let other people, influence that really quick. And just like, there's times where we're like, I don't know what I'm doing. Obviously we're never going to give up. And obviously it's hard to. That's why a lot of traders just end up giving up and then they never know if they would have made it or not. But we are on the right track. We are ready for this second year to just follow up with our process and make it consistent. So that's it.
Yeah,
Love it.
absolutely. Something I was gonna say really quick, Josh brought up to me is the end of this month, we've got an MIC meetup. January 29th specifically is the day. The MIC meetup is open to all. You do have to sign up. If you would like to sign up to go to the meeting, you go to myinvestingclub/meetup, myinvestingclub.com/meetup. If you want to sign up, it's going to be in LA on Saturday, January 29th, I think from 11 to 2 p.m. in the afternoon. But I am beyond pumped because Alex, Josh, Xander, a couple other guys that we're close with in MIC, we're getting an Airbnb together. We're going to freaking live it up in LA for that weekend. I wish Lance, Sam, guys, y'all got to join. I mean, come on.
Dude, I wish I could, dude. I wish I
And
could.
James too.
If I was 18 and I didn't need parental permission, I would definitely come.
I know, man. But yeah, so that's going to be the end of January. I'm so pumped. I mean, not only are we going to get to, meet some of the moderators and MIC and be around really experienced traders, but I would say almost more exciting for me is to be able to see you guys and really make it real. I mean, you guys have been such an important aspect and part of my life this year. And so this is like, even for those of you that aren't going to be there, you guys know I'm including you in this, but it's like, this is just the beginning, the first taste of what our new life is looking like, and partying together and having fun together. So, where you're giving your energy, where you're giving your time to, be careful not to give it to the wrong people, but also enjoy it with the right people. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
So,
sir.
Yeah.
When I told that to my dad, he was like, because he's very cautious, he was like, are you sure they're good guys? I'm like, man, like
My mom asked the same thing like 4 times. Like,
me too.
oh,
Like every time
is he gonna show off? Is he gonna go like 100 miles an hour? Like, is he a safe driver? Like,
and then I say like that. I talk to these people more than I talk to anyone else every single day. Like, obviously they're good people. Like, if they
And Alex, you've already met me and Aiden, so
yeah. I'm like, he told the same thing about Aiden and you, obviously. And then I was like you're asking this question, and if you think the answer is no, then I wouldn't be even considering that. Like, this is a useless question because you already know the answer to the question, but you still ask it every time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. Like my mom's like, she's like, you need to hang out with more of your friends. I'm like, Mom, my best friends live all around the country.
Same thing.
Like, seriously.
Absolutely.
I wanted to add one thing when Lance said about when your mom said like the life isn't about money. And I mean, but we're not doing it for money. I mean, we're doing it so we can then leave without caring about money. So
Right.
we're doing and then I heard the good quote about I have a job right now, but I'm not getting paid right now. So this is the same thing.
Yeah.
It's I also heard another quote, I think in the Be the Stories podcast. He said that, when every business, they have to rent a building, buy some equipment. So they are losing money when they buy because they're not making
those are
anything.
expenses.
Yeah, so the same thing here, like when you're losing in the first year, I mean, obviously that you should give something to then get something. So that's something that's not something very whatever. That's the usual thing.
There's this one guy who's a trader. He posted something on Twitter like billionaires risk millions to make billions. Millionaires risk thousands to make millions. And you guys risk nothing to make nothing.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's basically what it is. We have to risk something in order to get something.
Absolutely. Everything in life is risk and reward.
I was literally gonna say the exact same thing, word for word.
Dang, dude. Great minds think
I
alike.
remember the other day I was driving and that was the railroad and it says
yeah.
RR. And I took a picture like, oh, risk reward.
Oh my gosh.
Oh man.
Love that. That's awesome. I
Everywhere.
mean, when you talk to a non-trader and they ask you if you lose money and you tell them you lost money, they're like, "What do you mean you lose money? Aren't you supposed to be trading and winning?" Like, dude,
Just
risk
buy.
reward. People just don't understand it, dude.
Yeah, I told my mom yesterday. She said, "How'd you do today?" I said, "Oh, I lost $30." She's like, "Oh, that's not good."
But you're like, yes, it's great.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
I've told my dad stuff like, dude, there's a 600% runner today. And he's like, well, did you buy it? It's like, no, I missed it. You can't get every runner.
Did you
I
buy
Like,
it?
you just don't understand.
I actually don't share the one time I shared with my dad, that was when I crossed the bar break even, and I told him like that was in September. I said, so right now I'm up $100 and I'm not gonna tell you anything about my P&L after that. Like maybe like so he doesn't know my P&L. I mean, unless he goes to my Twitter, but he doesn't use Twitter. So like he only knows that I was up like $100 when I crossed break even, and then since September I've never told him about my P&L. So I want to be like Dux. I'm not gonna tell him about my P&L until like I don't know.
There like is there a guy named Daniel that didn't tell his parents that he was like a millionaire?
Oh,
Jack Daniel number
No,
8.
yeah.
Jack number 8.
Yeah,
I don't
he
know.
did?
Jack, number 07.
Yeah.
I think
Number
that
8. He did it again.
Number 7.
That was
I don't even know.
last time.
Oh no, Alex said it last time. Yeah. All right, boys,
Yep.
ready to close it out?
Yep. Amazing episode. This one was definitely the best one because most of us were here. James is here in spirit. Yeah, this was awesome. It's great. I can't wait to look back at this in 2 years. Like, hey, future me, hopefully you have a process.
I'm proud of you.
Hopefully you have a process.
Proud of you.
All right, but yeah, hope you all enjoyed. Stay tuned because it's gonna be a big year.
Yeah.
Yes,
Peace
sir.
out.
Peace.
Ciao.
Yeah. Bye.